Hey, what's up, homies? We are back in the office, back in business. We got a good internet connection, hopefully, God willing. I'm praying to the internet gods. We have a good connection. How's everybody doing out there in YouTube land? Praying to the internet gods. Yep, I look good on my end. I'm streaming a little earlier than I usually do, but that's because some people have said that they never get to catch me live and that I stream too late. So today I thought I'd stream early just to see if some different people show up. Plus, I was up earlier than usual. When I was out on my trip, I got used to waking up early, going to bed early, and so I was up really early today and got the stream all set up. And I thought, I'll just go a few hours earlier than usual just to see if maybe some people in England are still awake. Maybe I get some East Coast people who normally are in bed when I go live or whatever. What's up? John is here. Got Sean Hines here, says hey. Got Rose Bell here, says hello. Hello, Rose. Glad you could make it, y'all. Achy Dragon says road trip is over. Yes, it is. I will get to that here in a few minutes. Let me say hi to everybody. Pie Ambition says early bird gets the asshole. Indeed. That should be the phrase, right? Well, the early bird gets to eat your grandma's asshole. That's what they always say. Shit, I think I just demonetized my own stream right out of the gate. Shit. I knew I shouldn't have fell for that. Why'd you make me say that, bro? Oh, good times. Faith is here. She says, love you guys. Yes, love you all. Glad you could all make it. See, here's a guy that doesn't usually catch me live, and he's saying, glad to catch you live. I'm guessing because I went live earlier than usual. So now we got a guy catching me live, and he's glad. Doxological Thinker. Yeah, I don't recognize that name. Glad you could be here. Alphonse Gambino says, can you start over? Start over from what? The beginning of this stream? I haven't been streaming but for like a minute or two, so you haven't missed much. I'll start over at the beginning of my life. No, I cannot go back to being a baby. I cannot come back out of my mother's vajayjay and be a newborn again. So no. I don't know why I started to break into Mitch Hedberg right there. No, I cannot be a baby. Next question. I mean, joke. Huh. All right. Vito Andolini says, did you bring Jenny back to the office? No, she's at her house back in Oregon, and I'm here at the office alone. All right. Seed says, I would have showed up to the Milwaukee subscriber meetup. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I didn't really want to go to Milwaukee. And I was doing the meetups, for you guys and to create content on the road. So it was like a combination of doing like a vacation and a business trip all in one. And I learned that trying to do one meetup after the next meetup, after the next meetup, after the next meetup, after the next meetup over and over, and being out on the road and having to make content on the road and edit on the road and steal Wi-Fi from McDonald's or Starbucks and like film and keep repeating that process. Oh, and promote meetups in places I've never been. It presented a challenging dilemma to where one guy trying to just make it up as I go along and plan meetups on the fly, it just wasn't working. It wasn't sustainable. So I had to make a decision in Minnesota when I saw that the views were going down lower and lower. Not as many people were seeing the videos or the posts. So that means not as many people are going to show up to the meetups. So then the question became, if I continue, do I want to set up meetups where 0 people show up? And the answer was no. So before I ran into the problem of having 0 people show up, which was basically going to be inevitable if less and less people kept watching, I said, okay, I guess I got to go home and plan this out differently, because using YouTube to promote meetups, they basically will not show those videos to people. They won't notify people. And people are less likely to watch a 1-minute promo video about a city that they don't live in. So basically, YouTube started to punish me like, oh, you're going to put out 1-minute videos that no one wants to watch, and then do van videos that no one really wants to watch. All right, we're going to punish you and bury your channel. And so if you try and use YouTube as like a business promotional tool, or like Facebook or whatever as your promotional business thing, the algorithms will catch you and they will not allow you to succeed. And so, and me just trying to do it all on the road became just an impossibility. So basically, the cards were stacked against me the longer I continued. So it wasn't a failure. I had an awesome time. I met some awesome people. So I had a really good time, and it didn't start to become a pain in the ass until I got to Minnesota, and I planned to meet up in Duluth for like 3 days, and one guy showed up. I was like, okay, that's the signal that I need to go home. And so what I figured out was, if I am going to do meetups in the future, I got to have my location picked out ahead of time, the date and location picked out like a month in advance or more, and then promote the fuck out of it, and then just do like the one big meetup, and then come back and then promote the next one. So I would have to, like, my promotional tactics would have to change, because me showing up to like Milwaukee, for instance, and I've never been to Milwaukee, and I got to drive around and be like, where do I go? I have to find a meetup spot, and I've never been here. Hey, people in Milwaukee, where do I go? Like, one guy will be like, well, you could try this one place. And it's like, fuck. So now I got to figure out where I'm going to go in Milwaukee, and I've never been here. So I drive around like a dipshit for 3 hours, like around a city I've never been to find a spot that looks like it would work. And then once I found the spot, I have to make a promo video, which takes time and effort to like shoot it and edit it up and post it and all that crap. And so by the time I do that, and then that video tanks, and YouTube's like, this is the worst you've ever done, congratulations. It's like, well, fuck, I guess I can't promote meetups on the fly, one after the other after the other. I guess it just doesn't work. So I just had to stop, and that was that. And on the way home, I actually had a really nice drive. And once I started going home, I felt good about my decision, and that I had a good time, met some cool people, set up some meetups. People showed up to every one of the meetups, so I didn't hit 0 on any of them. And in Spokane, Washington, 10 people showed up, and it was a blast. So it was good times. But all good things must come to an end, and just trying to do van content on the road exclusively, I was getting farther away from what I usually do. So less and less people are going to tune in. And the less people that tune in, the harder it is to do it. So basically, it's nobody's fault. I tried something different, and I was out on the road for like almost a full month, for like 3 weeks. Not many people get to take a 3-week long vacation. So J.E. says, screw that guy in Minnesota that made you want to go home. No. Nobody made me want to go home. It was just like, that was the conclusion of the trip, was that like, I can't fight YouTube's algorithm by trying to promote meetups with like little 1-minute videos, because they look at that like, oh, this 1-minute video that you made tanked, and you're not getting as much watch time. So now we're going to punish you. And each video you make like this will get less and less and less. And so YouTube isn't the same place as it used to be last time I did this, like 6 years ago. So, and then me trying to do just meetups one after the other, it wore down on me. And so in Minnesota, it finally caught up with me, and I was like, okay, I should probably turn around and go home. I've been on the road for about a month, and I was getting a little worn down. And when I looked at the East Coast, there was like Oh, like 60 gigantic cities. Am I supposed to hit all of them? It just wasn't possible. And then there was a bunch of cities I didn't even want to go to. Like there was like places people were like, "Are you coming to Ohio?" And I'm like, "Fuck. I don't really want to go to Ohio, and if I do, I kind of want to just drive through it. I don't want to stop and do meetups, but since you guys want me to come, I guess I could do one." So there were cities I didn't even want to go to, states I didn't even want to go to, and I was only going to do a meetup for you guys. And it's like, well, if only 2,000 people are going to watch the videos, how many people are going to see it and know to go to the meetup? I was like, well, oh well. So that was that. And then I just had an awesome drive back home. Stopped in Deadwood, South Dakota. Deadwood is a really cool city. It's like an old cowboy town that they've done up like an old cowboy town. And they have like little tiny little slot machine, little like these little casinos with like slot machines. And I walked through and won some money in Deadwood. It's really cool. South Dakota is the much better Dakota, by the way. Of the two Dakotas, South Dakota beats the shit out of North Dakota. And then I got into Wyoming, saw that on the way back. And then I got into Nevada, won some money on the way back. So it was good. It was a good time. Even on the way back, on the way home, it was nice. All right. Yes, I'm back home. This is the office. That's what I just got done saying for a long time. Oh, it's like somebody sent a super chat. I was scrolling back when it came in. One sec. Mike B says, "What an a-hole. So close, Jake." No, no, no. I wasn't so close. See, the thing is, I looked at the map and it was like, okay, next Michigan. I've never been to Michigan. So if I come through the upper peninsula, that's going to take a day. Come down into the lower peninsula. I've never been there. I have to pick a fucking town in Michigan, which I've never been, and then hold a meetup with declining numbers in Michigan. So guess what? Anybody who doesn't live in the town I hold it in is going to be like, dude, that's an hour away. I can't make it. You did your meetup on a Tuesday and I live an hour away. Can't make it. So if I pick Lansing, people in Detroit are going to be like, that's too far. If I pick Detroit, people are going to be like, fuck Detroit. That place sucks. So it was really like, and that's just Michigan. And then when I get to Ohio, I got to pick like Cleveland or Toledo or some shit. And I don't like either one of those places. And I have to pick up one of those and do one there. And then I got to go to what, like Pittsburgh and do one there. And then I got to go to what, Buffalo, and then what, do one there. And then what, I got to keep going. You see what I'm saying? Like there's so many damn cities on the East Coast that like, dude, it's too many. I would have to bypass like so many of those cities. I was already 3 weeks in and I was in Minnesota looking at the map like, holy shit, by the time I get to like Faith's house, it'll be like the end of summer. I'm not trying to spend the whole summer out on the road and decline the views into nothing and have 0 people show up to the meetups. That wasn't the plan. So, it was awesome to be out there. And I saw more stuff in 3 weeks than some people see in their whole lives. I can't reiterate that enough. Thank you for the donation. Mike B with a donation says, no, from Milwaukee, silly. Milwaukee, silly. Oh, close to Milwaukee. Yeah, but I didn't even really want to go. And see, here's the thing. I was up in Duluth. And so for me to go to Wisconsin, I would have had to like dip way down south. And like I thought about going through the upper peninsula of Michigan. So it would have like stretched out the trip so long. And here's the thing. If you guys were, if you were all watching and more people were tuning in and I was getting lots of views, I guess I would have continued. But do you know how many views I got? It got down to like 2,000. That's like the lowest ever. So what does that tell you and me? It's not sustainable to keep doing that over and over again. It just isn't. That's the word I like best. It just wasn't sustainable to do meetups continuously and abandon all my other content that people were used to seeing. So, actually, Sean, I did pretty decent with money because I won quite a bit on the road in casinos. So I didn't spend a lot of time in casinos, but I got pretty lucky. Like, I'm an advantage gambler and slots are my thing. And so I would just roll through casinos, find one little tiny thing, and I would hit like a bonus round and walk out with like $300 in like under like 10 minutes sometimes. So on the way back home, I kind of went on a terror. In every little town and casino I stopped in, I was like hitting some lucky shit. So on the road, I probably won like a grand. So when I go back and I count up all the donations and my winnings, I probably came back with a little more than I started with, or it was about even, or I lost very tiny. So it's within range of I either made money or lost very little, or broke even, somewhere around there. I can actually show you guys some of the videos. I didn't tape all my wins, but I did tape a couple of my wins because I was just like finding like one little tiny but wild bubble on Ocean Magic, and then it was like bonus symbol, bonus symbol, bonus symbol. Here's money, and it was like, fuck, okay, thank you. Uh, so no, it wasn't so much the money. It was like just I don't want to set up meetups for nobody. So if less and less people watch and then nobody shows up, why am I setting up meetups in a city I've never been to for nobody? So even if you put the money aside, I don't want to spend my time setting up meetups for nobody to show up or one guy. You know what I mean? Even though everybody I met was cool, I got to plan it out ahead of time. If I roll through your city on a random Tuesday and you're like, bro, oh, I have to work and it just doesn't, then, you know, whereas if I say, here's the difference. If I say I'm going to be in Denver next month on July such and such date at this exact brewery, and I give you a month to prepare, and you live in Colorado, and you know a month ahead of time, I'm coming on a Saturday at the specific place, and you know where it's at, and you can plan for it. There's a much likely chance, there's a much better chance that I'm going to have a way better turnout. So my guess is if I planned a Denver meetup and I just specifically for like 1 or 2 months said I'm going to be in Denver in July on this date at this place. And if I plan that one date out, I know for a fact I would get 10 times better attendance. Easily better than me just rolling into Denver unannounced and then being like, hey, I'm here. I'm doing a meetup tomorrow on Tuesday. I haven't figured out where. I'll tell you tomorrow. You get what I mean? So, yeah. Just basic shit that you learn when you do it. If anyone else had done this beforehand, you know, like this is something new that I tried. I did this a long time ago, 6 years back, and had some success with it. But it was a different time. The flat earth topic was on fire, and word of mouth for a flat earth meetup was gigantic at the time. And so me saying I was setting a flat earth meetup in a town was like, hey, did you hear? There's going to be a flat earth gathering. Oh my God, I've never met a flat earther. I have to go. So there were people driving like for 3 hours out to go to a flat earth meetup, where now it's been like 6, 7 years since then. So it's not the same for a Jake the Asshole subscriber meetup as it was a 2017 flat earth gathering before those shit conferences. You got to remember, my gatherings like predated the shit conferences, which kind of ruined the whole thing. So there you go, y'all. That's the deal. So I'm not upset that I had to cut the trip short. Just when it started to become a pain in the ass was the time I decided to just turn it around. Now I'm back home. I can get back to doing regular content, which tonight I actually have some uh, regular content lined up for you. So I don't want to go on and on and on about the trip because it's over. It was fun. So now I guess we just get back to business, y'all. See, it says NFL rigged meetup right outside the Hall of Fame. That would get me arrested. You know, they would call the police, and the police would be like, "You have to leave now. This is not public property. This is private property, and you're trespassing. Out." You know what I mean? Like that would get you booted out immediately. But it would be funny. I actually had the thought that if I was to crowdfund, if we all put in a little bit for a billboard that says the NFL's rigged and put one up like right next to a stadium. And then I thought, you know what? That would probably get me murdered. Don't want to get myself murdered. Probably not. But it would be pretty awesome to crowdfund a sign that just big bold letters, the NFL is rigged. Don't show their logo. Don't show any players or anything like that. Just the NFL is rigged right next to one of the team's stadiums on a billboard. So as people drive in, they see that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they found out that I was the one who set that up, that would definitely be the last thing that I did. But that would be funny to do. Yeah, that would be a good way to catch the eye of somebody powerful who has the money to make me go away. See, they don't mind me running my mouth on YouTube. They don't give a shit. They really don't. But if I was to put up a billboard next to a stadium, like if billboards are truly for rent, and as long as I'm not using the logo, if you could put up a billboard that says research flat earth, which happened, then why can't you put up a billboard that says the NFL is rigged or the NFL is scripted? Either or rigged and scripted. I like using both. Uh like I don't think there would be a law against it, but there could be somebody who sees that, owners of teams might be like, yeah, whoever did that needs to die. And beings we have unlimited money at the NFL, we can totally make that guy die for doing that. Yeah, who knows what Antarctica even is? They might have some places down south where you run into ice, but that doesn't mean you're surrounded by a wall. Where they got you with the fake flat Earth rollout, because the Earth is definitely not a globe, but they got people with the fake flat Earth rollout. So they surround you with an ice wall. They put it in your head that you can't go anywhere, that they'll shoot you, and there's 100 million foot tall ice wall, and you can't go there, right? So what they do is they stick you behind wall. They put you in a mental jail cell. Whether you're on a globe or whether you're on the circle flat Earth model, you're still stuck in a little jail cell. So I always propose that neither one of those things are correct, and possibly there's more land and more places to go. All right. So with that, let's move on. I got an awesome stream planned for you tonight. Tonight, we're going to go into the Hoover Dam being possibly the next big Niner one-er event. I've talked about this a bit before, but I wanted to retouch on it. And I wanted to go into like the folding of the dollar bills, because there was a guy in Minnesota. God, his name's slipping my mind right now. Shit. So anyway, one of the dudes I met in Minnesota, he folded up the 20 and showed me the towers coming down. And I was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. So I thought we would touch on the money deal. how there's depictions of what looks like could be considered towers coming down. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this before, but oh, there it is. So yeah, you guys have probably seen this before, but this is just to catch anyone up here who is new or hasn't seen this before. This is just to catch everyone up that you can fold up the money and you can see stuff that looks an awful lot like stuff. Wonderful. So when this happens, I have to restart and the screen's going to go black and then I'm going to have to come back in like a minute because whenever they do this to me, the only way to fix it is for me to restart the damn computer, which I did before I started so that this wouldn't happen. Yep. Yep. Okay. So here's the deal, guys. I have to restart the stream. The stream's going to go black, but I will come back. So the stream's not over. I got a whole bunch of shit that I was going to show you, like a bunch of tabs, and they're all going to spool, and none of them will work. And so I have to, even though I know the numbers are going to go down, which is what they fucking want, I have to restart the computer. So it's going to be like a minute or two, and then I'll be back. So don't go nowhere. Screen's going to go black. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. All right. We'll let my computer have a minute to get its shit together, and then we'll try to show these clips I have all planned. There we go. Got my monitor back up again. Slight bump in the road. It happens.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel.
All right. So, here we go. So, you can fold up a $20 bill and other dollar bills, and you can see the towers coming down. What looks like the towers coming down. And you may have seen this before. So for those of you who already have seen the money folded up into depictions of psychological operations from the past and possibly the future, this will just be basically reintroducing the topic so I can go into the Hoover Dam being possibly the next Niner Oneer event. So we'll start with the folding up the dollar bills. And you have to ask yourself, like, what are the chances that you can fold up dollar bills and get them to resemble something that looks like the towers coming down? What are the chances of that happening, like just out of astronomical, pure chance coincidence that you can fold them up and get something that looks like buildings coming down? Now, to a sheeple, they will say, oh, you're just a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, so you'll make anything out to be anything. However, if you have a logical functioning brain, like if you put logic into it, you'll know like it's not coincidence. It's literally impossible to like line up artwork and have it look like something that happened in the past that was basically like the most polarizing psychological operation of most of our lifetimes. Also, when you fold up these some of these dollar bills, you see possibilities for things happening in the future, such as the Hoover Dam possibly breaking or flooding or failing somehow, which we'll get to that. All right, so let's cross our fingers and hope this video plays.
It looks like that's supposed to be the Twin Towers, if I've gotten that right. That's what is on the $5 bill when you fold it. And then we come over to the $10 bill. And there they are again, the Twin Towers. Looks like they are falling.
Okay, so if you were to show this to like one of your sheeple parents or one of your sheeple family members, they'll just look at you like you're stupid. Like, that's not what that is. It doesn't look like that. You're just making it up to suit your crazy theories. However, the fact that all the bills like that they show have things that look like things, it's kind of a statistical impossibility to have things that look like anything with random artwork that you fold up. It shouldn't match up at all. It shouldn't look like anything when you fold it up, right? If it's really just artwork, the person who did it shouldn't have been like, hey, I'm going to make sure that when you fold this up that it looks like this other thing happening. That shouldn't be possible. So no matter what way you fold the art, it should just look like a random folded piece of shit, and it shouldn't look like anything. But these do have a striking resemblance to a certain date, a certain thing that happened in American history, which not only changed life in this country, changed life around the world. So what is the next event? When's it going to happen? I guess the money could be telling us a story. Let's continue.
Just like they did on 9/11. That is what is on the $10 bill when you fold it. Now onto the $20 bill. Here's a $20 bill, and when you fold it, once again, the Twin Towers, they are falling. That is what is on the $20 bill. The $50 bill, they're pretty much gone now.
So if you put those in succession, you see the Twin Towers start to crumble halfway down and then go down in a pile of smoke, right? But again, your sheeple family member will say you wear tinfoil on your head if you think that that money somehow depicts that awful day when those terrible brown people did that terrible thing. You got to be wearing tinfoil on your head, sir, if you are making any sort of connection from that money to that day, that event. Absolutely. So if they have these things set up by design, exactly, Andy, not just years ahead, but like decades. They had that shit planned out decades in advance. So it makes you wonder how long before they do something with the Hoover Dam, because there's been a ton of predictive programming with the Hoover Dam, and we got the money with the same depiction. We're going to get to that next. So I'm suggesting at some point during our lifetimes, you know, if you live another few more decades, I'm thinking they're going to have to pull that Hoover Dam card eventually. And so if this is any forecast, the money, then if we can get out in front of it, talk about it long before it happens, and a lot of people know about it before it happens, that'll be a whole lot of people who will know before it happened that for sure it was set up a massive psychological event. Whereas back in Niner One or Oneer, very few of us could get out in front of that one and know for sure when and what was going to happen and how. So when I was a little boy in 1988, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man talked about the Twin Towers. You're going to see the Twin Towers coming crumbling down. Oh, yeah. Right? And that was in 1988. But there's no way we could take that predictive programming at the time in 1988 and be like, oh, yeah, I know what's coming. But we live in a time now where we can see the predictive programming and we can get out in front of these events now and possibly say, okay, when they do something with the Hoover Dam, I will have already called it out. So I already know it's coming. So they can't trick me. And I'm going to actively tell people to watch out for the Hoover Dam. So the situation is much different than back when I was a sheeple. I had no way of knowing what was going to come. So if Niner One or One, trying to use code lingo here to keep my stuff comedic. If Niner One or Oneer was the thing that like woke me up, and it was years after it happened, now it's much different that I can see through these things before they even happen. So you guys are in the same boat as me, I would reckon. We're able to now possibly forecast some of these major events that they might try. All right. You guys following along? All right. Aurora says the 1-9er. That's different than the Niner One or Oneer. I'm acting like I'm gonna somehow like keep this stream clean while like talking about the world's biggest psychological operations. It's totally a comedy routine. Everything we're talking about here is just all for laughs. It's a big goof. We all wear tinfoil in our butts. All right. Okay, let's continue.
Can't see them anymore. No more Twin Towers. They're gone. That is what is on the $50 bill when you fold it. And the last one is a $100 bill. And there you have it. That is what you get when you fold the $100 bill.
Okay, so like I said, what are the chances that you can fold up a piece of artwork and it just so happens to look like a thing? You know what I mean? Like the chances, if it's just random artwork, shouldn't line up. And the fact that they look like these things, like who are these artists? Like we're about to look at the 50, and by the end of this, you're going to be like, holy crap, the artwork is almost like out of this world. What kind of artist can you pay and be like, we would like you to make this design that you can't see this depiction unless you fold it up this certain way, and we want it to like look just like this one event that we have planned in the future. So can you please create the Hoover Dam, and then have the next one be the Hoover Dam flooding? And but we don't want it to look like the Hoover Dam unless you fold it up. Can you do that for it? Like how many people can you go to at this proposition who are going to be able to deliver this mind-bending artwork that you can bend up and end up with something else that depicts like a major psychological operation? It seems to me, this artwork and the fact that you can fold up these notes, which we're all enslaved by, these notes, these pieces of paper, these digits on a screen, you can fold it up and see these things. Who the hell can create that in their head and be like, oh, yeah, I got you. I know what you want. And then, like, dude, so what I'm thinking is who and whatever runs this place is not human. And who and whatever put the artwork on those dollar bills, they're probably not human either. What human dedicates their life to making artwork that you can fold up and turn into shit? It's just weird. Just like what human can dominate the earth for century after century after century under the same bloodline? So I always feel like when I see things like I'm going to show you, we're not up against something human. What it is, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate, but I will speculate that it's not human, whatever we're up against. With that said, let's get to the $50 bill in the Hoover Dam. That's kind of the whole basis of this stream. This is a really good video. I'm not sure who did it originally, and I don't think this person who uploaded it here is the original uploader, but maybe Jay Kleck. I don't know. I'm not sure who it is, but it's called The Destruction of the Hoover Dam on the $50 bill. Away we go.
But I want you to pay close attention to something. This right here ends up being the vertical ledge of the dam. I'm going to put it right here, Clay. This vertical ledge right here, or the vertical side of the dam of the wall, that is right here. I want you to pay attention to this line here and all the way across over here. Very, 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 very important. Now watch. As this magnification changes, you see there ends up being this new pattern that looks like kind of a sine wave. Now let's check it out even further. Now it's really changing. Now look. Now look. Now I'm going to do this a few times. There, watch. Look there. Now watch. Or you zoomed in pretty tight. Now watch. What you're looking at is some kind of a scalar weapon, some kind of a wave attack, high ELF or ELF, I don't know, attack. Maybe HARP, maybe something we don't even know about. So these images of these waves are hitting this wall.
Again, the reason why I think that the artwork is like out of this world is how can an artist make these like 3D changing like images within the artwork? How can you take like, oh, here's like a picture of the White House, or not the White House, the whatever the hell that place is right there. I don't know the name of that one off the top of my head. Anyway, so they take one of these like national monuments or whatever. It's just supposed to be a picture of that. How the hell can they get the when they magnify it in and out? How do you get in those like patterns like that? You're telling me the artist just like thought that that would be cool and trippy? The people who paid the artist were like, we want it when you magnify it to have all these like waves and psychedelic shit so people can be like, woo, when they look at it for fun. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not like something any artist would just, oh, I'm going to include this. People who make the money, hey, we need to make sure we put the, yeah, they put this shit in there for a reason. And so it makes you wonder, like, who in the hell designed this shit? They cannot be human. What human thinks about this all damn day? Moon Harvest with a donation says, damn, exactly. Damn. As Ron Simmons would say. Wrestling fans get it. Non-wrestling fans don't. All right. So this is just the beginning. My thing is like there's way too much hidden shit included in the money. And it's not just crazy conspiracy theorists making stuff up out of nothing. It really isn't. There's too much here for it to all just be a crazy coinkydink and tinfoil hat conspiracy theories.
See it? Okay, now, well, what's the significance of that? And then it disappears to the naked eye. Once it's, where'd it go? Okay, but as we change, you can clearly see it's got a pattern. Okay, that's because the Hoover Dam is going to be destroyed. What you're looking at is the means, I believe, by which.
So you see how like that pattern disappears and then comes back into view on a flat piece of paper? Like, you know, I've done this drug called the spirit molecule, and you're able to see things that aren't there, but they're so real and vivid and detailed that they are there. You just can't see them with the naked eye normally. So the only way you can see what's really there is to open up your third eye. And this is almost when I see this like, oh, okay, it makes sense to me because I've done the spirit molecule. I know what it's like to have everything become something else and then transform back. So when I see something like this, it's like the alternate realm being flashed, the alternate reality underneath the one that you think is reality. But you can't see it with the naked eye.
it's going to be destroyed. Okay, but I guarantee you it's going to be destroyed. That's why they printed it on the U.S. currency. The same as all those other buildings that were mysteriously blown up, that had no real explanation, that were so full of fallacies, a fifth grader could have won in court to prove that it was a lie. But here we have another common denominator. We have another U.S. currency note that has an image. When you make it into a pentagram and turn the pentagram upside down, you have another image of a structure within our country that's printed on one of our notes. Gee, if anyone's a math professor out there, I was going to get a hold of a math professor to do the math on this. And yeah, even though I've had, calculus and differential equations, I don't know how to come about coming up with this number. But then okay, so here's an image of this 50. And I'm sorry that there's a little gap. I didn't have it squeezed together real tight on this. But here is the water containment made by those two lines. Now, this is the other $50 bill. I want you to look at the difference in patterns. This one does not have the water containment.
So the fact that you can fold up a 50 and get the Hoover Dam or something that looks like a dam, and then they update it, and then it looks like water's coming over it. So what are the chances you get something that resembles Niner, Oner, and something that resembles a dam, Hoover Dam, possibly? It shouldn't resemble anything. It can't possibly be tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. It has to be the people who design the money purposely put that shit there for when you purposely fold it. And that means whoever made that artwork is not a regular human being. You see how I got there? There's no regular artist that you can pay with the task to do it, to make this shit the way it folds up and looks like stuff like that. And when you unfold it, totally not look like any of that at all and resemble all these other things with all these other occult symbols. In order to mix all these occult symbols and be able to fold it up and make it look like something, so it's a statistical impossibility that it's coincidental. So again, this isn't like some artist that you can be like, we'll give you $1 million if you can create this out of this world artwork on these notes that is going to enslave everyone. This is what people work for, so they can get a hold of these notes, whether physical in your hand or digits on the screen. This is what everyone works for, right? This is what they pay crooked politicians with, right? And the bloodlines who set this thing up, like let's say the Rothschilds, like who the hell do they pay, and what kind of artist has the time and the thinker to be like, oh yeah, I can totally make these pictures that when you fold up they turn into other fucking pictures because I'm that kind of artist, man. No way. There's got to be something else more wicked and demonic going on here besides rich dude paid an artist to do it. So this is what trips me out about this being on the money, is like, okay, if that is the Hoover Dam, then that means they've set us up with lots of predictive programming about the Hoover Dam, and there it is on the bill. So when are they going to do what with the Hoover Dam? So this video, this stream comes down to like, okay, if they're going to do something with that dam, it's got to be, in the next few decades, 20, 30 years or so, they've got to do something with it. They've predictively conditioned us with the predictive programming, right? They got us all conditioned for it. So it seems like they have it set up and ready to go. Just comes down to whenever they pull the trigger. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, man. But like the whole thought process of like hiring people to put these depictions on the money and then like actually doing these things, you know what I mean? Like having it look like different event. It highly, highly peculiar and not easy for an artist to be like, oh yeah, for sure. We'll make this look like this so that when you fold it up, then it looks like this and like this. Oh yeah, it works. It just works perfectly. Like one little line incorrect here or there, and it won't quite look right. It won't resemble anything. The fact that everything matches up the way it does. All right. So here's the 50 folded into what resembles a dam, Hoover Dam possibly. And I'll get into all the different predictive programming that has conditioned us with the Hoover Dam in a minute. Of course, we got the Beavis and Butthead clip. We got the Vegas vacation clip. Those are two of my favorites. Of course, I'm a 90s, kid. I was born in the 80s, but I grew up through the 90s. So I have these 90s Hoover Dam references in my head. But I'm sure Hollywood has done several, dozens and dozens. JL says, as Beavis would say, is this a goddamn? Everyone's saying damn. This is the coolest tour I've ever been on.
Let me show you. I'll do it with the arrow. You see the water containment made right there? That was produced by the two lines that surround the oval. That makes this water containment across the top of the Hoover Dam. Now let's go over to the other one. It is missing. Now let's change the magnification. By the way, this is water flowing over the dam. Look at under the exact same magnification. This one has this image, and this one has this. Looks okay, but let's change the magnification. Let's do this. This still looks like water flowing. Wow, there's that scalar attack. And let's look right here. That still shows water. See it? Coming here and coming here. Look at the direction of all the lines. They're all moving in the direction water would be moving over a dam. Wow, but why doesn't this one have the same thing? This is part of the green area I showed you. I'm going to show you again. I'm going to do this. This is important. I'll do it right here. Remember the green area right here? See that green area? That's up against the edge of the vertical side of the dam? There it is. It's the same here. See it? Why is this green area and this green area under magnification? Why does this one have all these lines that are unidirectional? Because it was done with intent. The artist that produced these had to do it with intent, so it produces this. Now let's watch the scalar attack on this image. There you go. There it is.
I guess what blows me away is they're taking something, like a building that exists, and they aren't like embellishing on it, or they're just taking the building, and then that building can turn into something that resembles, a dam flooding or towers coming down. So it's crazy that they aren't taking like something made up and then turning it into something else that's just made up. It's like they're taking actual things like a picture of a building and then you can turn it into this. It's highly intricate artwork to be able to get this to do this, to be able to fold it up and get it to look like something. Like I said, human or not, whoever and whatever created this did it intentionally, for sure. So we can argue all day over who and what created it, but the fact is it does exist. And so it was intentional. Make no mistake about it. This was meant to be folded up and look like this. It's not something that just coincidentally some tinfoil hat guy, conspiracy theorist just crazily did. And then it happened that all the other bills had, you could fold up and look like something too. So definitely clear intention. And then this whole like magnifying thing, which like makes the lines show up and go away and stuff, like that's intricate shit. You know what I mean? Like every little line has to be strategically accounted for, every little tiny detail. And again, it's not like they're taking a fake building. It's like that's a building. And then they can still do that. You get it to have all the waves and lines and shit when you magnify it. I don't know. It's just very crazy to me that our money has so many things going on with it. This is just one little video here. Like there's room for us to go into other things on the money. So we can talk about just the dam and the towers for a few hours and kill a video. And there's still more to cover.
Now here's the thing. Every time you look at this image, look how it stays looking like water. Isn't that amazing? What do you think the odds of that are? After just watching everything I showed you. Now here's what they'll do. Then they're going to blame it on someone. They're going to have another story they can't explain. And everyone, because we have the NDAA and the NDRP and HR 347, you're not even allowed to speak out against the government now.
So we got the what appears to be like a dam when you fold up to 50. And then I'm going to show you guys some of the predictive programming, possible predictive programming. This is a future psychological operation that could happen at this location. Could happen. Now, this could all be a big nothing burger that they're throwing out there to sidetrack us. That could be a possibility too. I don't put that past them, but it seems that there's been a lot of references in movies and shows and whatnot over the years back to this dam, and even attention going back as far as last year to this dam. So they keep making people look at this damn dam. So what is it about this damn dam that is so special that they have to force it down our damn throats? Everybody get your damn jokes ready. All right. So check out this little info here. You guys see what I done searched there? I searched Nazis blow up Hoover Dam. And apparently the good guys, the Americans, thwarted. They figured out the Nazi plot to blow up the Hoover Dam and they stopped it because they're so smart and awesome. See that? Nazis had this plan. They wanted to go after the dam. We all know the Nazis were just the most evilest people ever. They wanted to go after the dam. It's got a little programming here. Then I'll show you guys my favorite clip. Not ready yet. Clip. Wait for me. All right. So from Beavis and Butthead, Do America.
Masturbation.
Folks, get your video on that. There's just been an incident here.
My goodness, someone's just blown out.
Explosion and a fire. We're going to be
Okay, so Beavis and Butthead Do America came out in like the late 90s, I want to say, 99, 2000, something like that. And it has the depiction there of, Butthead destroying the dam and a bunch of water flooding. And I can't show too much of the movie, otherwise they'll claim the whole damn stream or take down the stream. They've done that before too. So, if you guys remember last year, 2022, we had a small explosion at the Hoover Dam. See, so they brought your attention, explosion, Hoover Dam. So it was just a tiny explosion, but they bring your attention back to explosion, Hoover Dam. They keep drawing the public attention back to this dam in one way or another through news stories that are supposedly real or movies that are meant to be fiction. Somehow they keep bringing up the dam. Yeah, Rumford, it could have been a CGI explosion. I don't know. Or they could have just had like a little tiny movie setup fucking explosion down there. You got to remember the world is a stage. They can use the same Hollywood effects. So they could easily, like, light some black powder up right there or whatever, some light, not super volatile explosive, and just start a little tiny little fire with a bunch of smoke and then be like, oh my God, a malfunction at the dam, blah, blah, blah. So this was just last year. And see, people forget really fast, but that conditioning sticks with them. So in 3-4 years, people will forget that this little explosion happened. But still, if they do something with the dam in the future, something huge, the conditioning will be there.
Leaving now, so we'll be trapped in there.
Something has just blown up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Beavis and Butthead. We got the 2022. Here's another one. This one is from Vegas Vacation, another 90s movies, a 90s movie. Now, last time I showed this clip, they pulled down my stream, and then when I stopped showing the clip, my stream came back on. So, what I'm going to do is just show little tiny snippets, and I'm going to narrate. Fair use, bitches. I'm going to use snippets and narrate, so don't pull down my stream. You understand me? Okay, so this is from Vegas Vacation, which in my opinion is the funniest of all the vacation movies. There's a hot topic on which one is the best. In my opinion, Vegas Vacation is the best of all the vacation movies. But that's not the point. The point is that they make a point of the Hoover Dam. So there's the Hoover Dam. And then here's the Griswolds at the Hoover Dam. And they're going to take a tour of the Hoover Dam. Clark's all enamored with it, spends time talking about how awesome it is. And his wife's like, Clark, we're on a family vacation. Quit being a fucking loser and talking about the dam. Shut up, Clark, bitch. And he's like, all right, honey, I just love the dam so much. And then they go on a tour. And then this guy right here says, this is the dam control room. We're at the dam. You could go to the damn store and buy some damn drinks. I'm going to say damn this. I'm going to say damn that. Every time I say damn in front of something, you know it's funny and you should start laughing. Damn. So then that part happens. And then Randy Quaid, this is like the funniest thing he like ever did was in this movie, like not just this scene, but basically this is like Randy Quaid's like best performance he ever did. He goes, where can I get some damn bait? After they already drove the damn bit into the ground and beat a dead horse, Randy Quaid holding a beer, a bush beer, might I add, during the tour asks where he can get some damn bait. So funny. Just iconic. Right? Okay. So at this point, they walk by this wall, and there's water coming out of the wall. And the tour guide says, "Don't worry about the water coming out of the wall. That's perfectly normal." And they just go walking on by. But Clark, he decides he wants to try and plug the leaks in the wall. So water's coming out of the wall, and Clark wants to plug the leaks in the wall. And so he asks his daughter for chewing gum so that he can plug the leaks in the Hoover Dam walls while he's on a tour with chewing gum. Very realistic scene here. See? So it springs a leak. Then he asks his daughter for the gum. And she's like, "You want gum out of my mouth?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, honey. Give me gum out of your mouth. I don't care, whatever." So then he like chews up some gum, sticks it in the wall. See? Chewing gum, sticking it in the wall. And of course, this makes another leak happen like a foot away. So now there's two leaks, and one of them he's got halfway plugged up with the gum. So now he's got to chew up more gum. You know what happens when he plugs that one? Then another one starts leaking, and now he's trying to plug like 40 leaking holes in the Hoover Dam. And then this one starts blowing a water balloon inside of bubble gum, which is hilarious. Clark points at it, and then he sticks his gum on the bubble, completing the scene. And he just like, "You know what? Screw it. I'm walking away from this wall." End of scene. So they had to purposely spend this entire segment on the Hoover Dam. And what they're saying is the dam has cracks. And if you try and plug them, it just makes another section break. There's cracks in the dam. See? That's what I take from it. Because, like, why did they, during the Hoover Dam bit, like, have to spend all this time to do what's really not, like, that funny of a bit? It doesn't really add anything. It's like, "Honey, I need to chew gum and shove it in the dam. You guys," he tells his daughter and his wife and everyone to just go on. "You guys go on and finish the tour without me. I'm going to stay here and put chewing gum inside the wall." Like, oh yeah, and the person running the tour just totally like lets that happen. Like, doesn't, yeah, it's just, come on now. But they went out of their way to show us that. So what I'm saying is, why is Hollywood in like a Beavis and Butthead movie and a Vegas Vacation movie, they really want to shove a boring dam down your throat? If it's just a boring dam, why are they constantly shoving the damn dam down our damn throats? Yeah, it's a nice little damn bit, huh? See how I got around the censorship there? See, I learned from my mistakes. Last time I showed that Vegas Vacation clip was like last year, when there were talks of the Lake Mead during a super drought. The Hoover Dam came up, and I showed that clip, and my stream got pulled down while I was showing it, and then the minute I stopped showing it, the stream popped back on. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just talk and narrate and only show clips, and it totally worked. I should make a whole series where I just narrate during movies you've seen and just show little snippets. No, that would probably bomb worse than my damn van trip. On second thought, I better not do that. That might not damn work out too damn good to damn. Damn the damn the damn the damn. Yeah, exactly. Like, why do they make such a big deal about Hoover Dam? You know, it keeps getting referred to, like I said. So I'm not reaching when I say that it gets like a ton of like press, a ton of mentions in movies and whatnot. they like spend an extra exorbitant amount of time on it, And you got to think they do that with a lot of stuff. So like aliens, dinosaurs. Think of how many Hollywood movies aliens mix in aliens somehow or dinosaurs, right? So they're always using Hollywood movies for their predictive programming and conditioning. Look no further than like The Simpsons and Back to the Future having predictive programming for Niner, Oneer, Oneer. Look no further than Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan wrestling the Twin Towers in like 1988, 89, long before the towers came crumbling down. Oh, yeah. So when you look at the predictive programming, somebody is writing this script for the world stage. And if they can write stuff, a decade or more before it happens, that means they have these plans well thought out, detailed, and ready to go long before they execute them, which is pretty scary when you think about it. Mars Gold says Oroville Dam could flood Sacramento in less than 1 hour. Well, shit, that would be a pretty crazy way to end my stream if water just came in here all of a sudden. If water just comes in here and ends my stream, that'll suck. I don't feel like going swimming right now. And I bet it would be cold. I don't like cold water. I don't want to die in cold water. Like when I saw the movie Titanic and I saw all the people dying in the cold water, I was like, ew, I don't want to die like that. And we totally know that's a psychological operation too, but still, cold water. I don't know why I just went off on that, off something that's not going to happen. But if it does, that'll suck. Yep, they love that number, don't they? So somehow they seem to fit that number into a lot of their plans. So as you can see, you can just check out, all the different ways you can fold up dollar bills and all the different stuff you get. And so when you see like the succession of what looks like the towers coming down on a 5, 10, 20, the fact that one of them looks like something would be something, but the fact that all the bills look like something and looks like a succession from 5, 10 to 20, a succession of the buildings coming down from one bill to the next, what are the odds that the artwork happens to line up like that? Again, statistical impossibility. You know what? That's a good idea. Everybody, if you're having fun, hit the damn like button. It would really help me and the algorithm. And since I pissed off the algorithm by doing meetups and promoting and van stuff, I gotta please the algorithm. And I hear that they like thumbs up. So hit the thumbs up. Let's get this algorithm turned around. If you guys are enjoying this content, and for those of you who missed the first part of the stream, I talked all about how doing content on the road was just not sustainable. So if you missed the part where I talked about cutting my trip short, I talked about it for 20 straight minutes at the very beginning of the stream. So at the end, you can go back and watch the beginning. Okay? All right. Cat says the cold water makes you shiver, which is detoxing you. Well, I don't like it. I like to get in water that's just slightly cool on a hot day. I don't like it to be really cold. It's not comfortable. I like water. If I'm going to get in it for swimming, I like it to be comfortable. And then if it's cold outside, then I want it to be hot, like a hot tub or a hot spring, which I hear that detoxifies you. So which is it? Cold detoxifies you, or hot mineral water in a hot spring detoxifies you, or both? So are you telling me only medium water that's not too hot or too cold, just right in the middle, is non-detoxifying, or is all water detoxifying? And again, hit that damn like button, y'all. The damn button. I see 177 likes. If you guys want to continue, and I got more, if you want to continue, let's get it up to 200. Because there's like almost 300 people watching, so we should be able to get 200 thumbs up. Come on, 200 thumbs up. I'm holding the stream hostage right now. So the whole thing about water, the cold water detoxifying you. So you're telling me like toilet bowl water is going to detoxify you? Just get inside, stick your ass in some freezing cold toilet bowl water, and it's going to detoxify your ass? Get out of here. My lawless is flogic. I mean, yeah. All right, we're up to 193. 7 more likes. We're almost there. Smash them. Get in your sock puppet account and hit the like button. We're almost there, guys. Come on. We're 5 away. 4. Guys, we'll continue and have a lot more fun if we get this thing over 200. Because if we don't, then the world might end. Like the Sacramento might get flooded if we don't get up to 200. All right, we made it. Woo! 207. Ooh. All right. You guys like it more than I thought. Well, in that case, I guess we could continue. All right. So while I was on the road, I did see some of what they call smoke from Canada. And I got to say, I'm kind of doubting their story now. Kind of wondering how much of it's legit fire smoke. So there was supposedly these fires in Canada. And see, I kind of know their fire story because in California, every summer around July and August, they say California's on fire. Ugh! And then our sky turns to hazy shit no matter where you live, unless you're over by the coast where it blows it all away. So pretty much almost everywhere in California, we get this hazy shit sky, and then it starts turning the sky orange. And then when you see the sun, it doesn't even like look bright. It's just like an orange disc in the orange sky. And so I've been through this several times, and I've started to wonder, like, is that really fire smoke that's turning the damn sky orange to where the sun isn't even bright anymore? Is it really just fire smoke? And I do know that they purposely do set fires. So I think there is some truth to it being fire smoke, but I do think that it's not wildfires. So their story about wildfires is a lie. I think they purposely set fires. However, it makes me wonder if they're also dispersing other sorts of chemical additives along with the smoke. So between planes possibly spraying stuff or just dispersing canisters on the ground, what have you, it makes me wonder if they're adding something else into the air, helping along to fill the air with particulates. So the East Coast hasn't gotten used to seeing their skies turn orange during the summer, whereas I've seen that like back in 2019, it was real bad. It was like for a week and a half straight orange sky, and they were like, California's on fire. And if you guys remember, those of you who've been following since then or before, I did a series of wildfire exposed videos, which got a shitload of views, by the way. And I showed the different methods they can use. They can use helicopters and drop uh, flammable liquids out. They can use flame-throwing drones. Flame-throwing drones are a thing, and you can set areas on fire arson style, all with cheap machines. So they can easily like have a certain area designated that they want to burn up, or even a city that they want to burn up. And with cheap, flame throwing drones, drop some flammable shit out of a helicopter, they can easily clear out an area for whatever they want. So they're going with this psychological operation of wildfires, as in the fire so wild it shoots embers up in the sky, and the embers go flying around, and they can just land anywhere. So back in 2019, there were billboards in California saying wildfire embers can travel over a mile. Wildfire embers can travel over, and there were billboards that said this, conditioning the public to think that there's a fire that shoots embers in the air, and the embers go flying around, starting other fires. Somehow they get people to believe that shit. So I was pointing out, hey, look, all the fires in California end right at the border of Oregon. How is it possible that it's only California, and then right when you get to Oregon, the fire doesn't want to burn there no more? So I was pointing out how like these fires were obvious, like purposely set arson. And now I'm wondering one step further if they're adding something else to the mix, some other chemical additives, if you will. Conspiracy Cracker says geoengineering. Yeah, see, I don't like that word so much because it sounds scientific. Like, we're going to fight global warming with geoengineering. You know how it's getting all hot and shit and the ice caps are melting and you're going to die? Well, if we just spray a little bit of metallic material in the air, we can reflect sunlight out into the atmosphere, back into space, and reverse global warming. It's called geoengineering. Doesn't that sound awesome? Don't you want some? We should do that. See? That's why I don't like geoengineering. I don't like that name. That's like so evil to make it sound all scientific and awesome. There's people out there that will be like, oh, there's no such thing as chemtrails. That's a fake conspiracy theory. Oh, really? So in Las Vegas, where there's no humidity, on a day where it's 110 degrees, I can see nothing but trails over the city, and I'm supposed to believe that's the same thing as my breath on a cold day in Las Vegas or Phoenix during the summer. Yeah, sure. And it spreads and lingers for hours. And it's the same as my breath, which disappears immediately. Same thing, right? So anyone who ever challenges me on that issue, I go right to Las Vegas and Phoenix and seeing the trails in July and August where humidity levels are 0. Oh, well, up above the city, it's so cold and it's much. No, it's not. It's hot up there too. You can't just go 1,000 feet above Las Vegas and be like, oh, it's frigid up here. Ice crystals. Nice try. Then a trail that stops and starts up again. Yeah, that's because a spray can stop and start back up again. A chemtrail denialist will have to say that the plane flew through a dry patch. That's their go-to. The plane flew through a dry patch. That's why it was making a contrail, and then stopped and then started again. Dry patch. Get up there and fucking prove dry patch. That's what I say. Get your ass up there and test that air and show me how it's wet right here and dry right here. Get up there and show me. Toxological Thinker says fires don't produce orange smoke, but aluminum nitrate does. Yeah, I grew up in California. I've been here most of all my life, and I can tell you that over the last decade, in the summers, they've been pulling the fire card. And in 2019, we had like a week and a half of eerie orange sky, the kind that I saw in like New York and places over in the East Coast on the news and shit. And so when I was in Minnesota, I saw a little bit of it. It wasn't all orange and shit, but I did notice it was a little hazy in Minnesota. And thank you, Doxological Thinker, for the donation. And also, we had a few years back, I think 2017, 18, one of those years, we had what looked like in California, a few cities that looked like they were basically wiped out via like direct energy weapon or something. So there were houses that were burnt like like flat to the ground, but then there were like trees out in the front yard that were untouched and stuff. You know what I mean? There were cars that were like melted into like almost like a pool of liquid metal. And fires aren't supposed to burn that hot. So between like the cars being melted and the houses being just like completely burnt just down to nothing, while like the backyard and front yard were still like unaffected. It was like something strange going on. So they could use a number of different ways, you know, like I said, between direct energy weapons, dumping flammable shit out of a helicopter. Hell, I've even seen videos of electrical units on your house, the smart meters just starting on fire. So look up smart meter bursts into flames, and you're going to find videos of smart meters on the sides of houses just bursting into flames. You're going to find accounts of houses being burnt down just because the smart meter just did that unexpectedly. So they have lots of different ways to get rid of houses and shit in the way of their projects. So I've heard like they're going to build this big monorail system in California, and there were some pesky towns in the way. So they had to kind of get them out of the way and burn them down, burn sections away. And they can just blame it on wildfire a lot more cheaply than paying everyone off and cutting through all the red tape to run the monorail through there. So I can't prove, you know, it's because of this monorail or whatever, but when you hear about stuff like, oh yeah, they're planning on putting this like $1 billion monorail system in, and they are planning on running it right through this area that got burnt to a crisp, you just kind of put two and two together. So yeah, I did some videos about the fires and got tons of views on those. And so I noticed this year they haven't done the California's on fire thing yet. But that usually comes in July or August. So it wouldn't surprise me if California catches fire, but usually late summer, and they usually will say it's because somebody must have flicked a cigarette out the window. So they can set like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of acres ablaze, and then they can be like, some guy must have thrown a cigarette out his window. What an asshole. And then wildfire embers shot up in the sky and traveled everywhere and just set everything on fire because that one guy with a cigarette. Glat Flobe, I like it, says, bring on the aliens, bro. I'm ready. Well, they've set the table for that one. They've set the table for the Hoover Dam, and they've set the table for the fake alien invasion, fake Hoover Dam event. They've set the table. So all we got to do is just sit and wait for them to do it. I'm not the type to give you dates. So there's other people. For instance, there was a guy, I guess his name was like Jurassic Liars, and he started this monumental rumor that on 6/11, the one that just passed, June 11th, Seattle was going to be hit by a tidal wave and the Space Needle was going to be overtaken by lots of water, and Seattle's going to be underwater. It's going to be Seattle under the sea. And so a lot of people were talking about how there was going to be a major event in Seattle. And when I was there just before the 11th, people were even warning me that I should get out of Seattle before this big event happens. And I said, you guys, it might just be a nothing burger trying to pin down the exact date and using gematria or whatever and trying to pin down their exact date. That's kind of rough. So saying something might happen with the Hoover Dam or something might happen with Seattle, okay, that makes sense. But then trying to pin it down to a certain date, you're setting yourself up for failure when it doesn't happen. And so whoever this guy was that started this rumor, I never followed him, but I heard that this guy started this rumor that on 6/11 something major was going to go down in Seattle. And then it was a big nothing burger. So then that puts you in the situation where if you've said that, you have to be like, I mean next year. I mean 11/6. Yeah, November 6th. Not 6/11. 11/6. Yeah. Next year. No, I mean 10 years from now. Yeah. See? So when you get in the position of picking dates and then you're wrong, that puts you in the position of having to be like, I was wrong. I'm dumb for doing that. Or pushing the goalpost back and saying next year. So one thing I don't do or haven't done that I can remember is say on this specific date, this specific thing is going to happen. And I rest my reputation on it. So I'm suggesting they could do something with the Hoover Dam, but it could be 10 years from now. You know what I mean? I have no idea when. And I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I totally did gematria and the queen queefed on 11/11. So I know for a fact it's going to be 11/11. On 11/11, the queen queefed 11 times. So therefore, 7/11, 9/11, 6/11, 3/11, 11/11, 11/11. Nah, I just won't do that. Oh, somebody sent a super chat and I started talking and forgot to click on it. JL says off topic. I feel your channel should more subscribers than others. YouTube has changed a lot. So now it's not about your subscribers, it's about your niche. So YouTube has put creators into a position where you have to like pick a niche and then keep making videos about that niche. And if you choose a topic that's well searched, you'll get views. And if you pick a topic that's not well searched or talked about, then you won't. And it doesn't even matter how many subs anymore. There's channels with 1 million subs that can only get like tens of thousands of views. And then there's channels with only like 1,000 or 2 subs that'll get 10,000 views. And so you can get more views than you have subs. And you can have a shitload of subs and not even get as many views as you have subs. And so I know what it's like to have both happen. So I've had videos go viral and I've had videos tank. So I literally have all the experience here on YouTube over 7 years of knowing what has worked and what has not. And so when it comes to subscribers, here's what happened. In the last NFL season, 15,000 new subs showed up, and all they wanted is me to tell them how fake football was. They don't give a fuck about anything else. I shouldn't say all of them, but the majority of them don't care about anything else I do. All they want is for me to tell them how fake football is and show the clips. Ooh, num, 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 num. They eat that up. And if I do that again this next season, which I will, I'll get a lot of subs and a lot of new people and the views will go up. But they're here specifically to hear me tell them football's fake and show them. And if I do anything else other than that, they don't care. They don't want to watch. And that's cool. I understand that. So YouTube is niche driven. So most channels only do one thing. Right? So for me to do all these different things, it's really out of the ordinary for content creators to try and do lots of different types of content. So most successful content creators these days kind of have their genre, their niche, and they stick to it. And YouTube promotes them in that genre. So the minute I start like doing something new, that's when I see whether it works or not compared to other stuff that I've tried. Because I've tried a whole bunch of different shit. So subscribers nowadays are becoming overrated. If you make videos about a hot topic that's being searched by millions of people, you could have a low amount of subscribers and get a shitload of views. So, for instance, when the NFL season starts, the NFL being rigged is a hot topic. And if I'm the number one guy in the world talking about it, I'm going to get all those views. But then when the season ends, if I'm talking about the news being fake, well, there's a lot less people trying to look up news being fake on YouTube. So conspiracies in general aren't a highly searched thing on YouTube like they used to be, because most conspiracy channels got booted off, gave up, what have you. They're over on the other alternative platforms. So there's not as many people trying to watch conspiracy related content as there used to be. And so a lot of it just comes down to just basic stuff like that, man. It's a algorithm dominated platform, and it's run by a computer. So this business, YouTube, it's a gigantic business owned by Google, and it's run by a computer. Very few humans work at YouTube. YouTube is like a gigantic computer that runs itself, and there's a few humans involved, but not that many. When I say a few, maybe 100 or a couple, but hardly any. If you have a problem with YouTube, you talk to computers basically and deal with computer shit. You don't even like deal with real humans. So as the platform becomes more niche driven and algorithm dominated, I pretty much have to like stick with one thing per channel. So it's sad that I can't hop around for all these different types of content. But if you look around YouTube, there's not a lot of content creators who jump around to 10 different things. You know what I'm saying? Jonah knows what I'm talking about. Rocky Shepherd. Hey, what's up, buddy? Glad you could make it. He knows what I'm talking about. That guy's a hoot, Rocky Shepherd. Let me tell you what, Rocky Shepherd, if he drinks 4 beers, he gets loud and hilarious. I think he's hilarious, but he gets loud. You got to watch out, because if you're around any sheeple, he might get you into a situation or himself into a situation. Andy with a donation said the Nuggets won and all the fanboys got drunk and rioted. Yeah, see, they threw me for a loop. I thought that the Miami Heat were going to pull the upset. I thought that all the money would be on Denver and they were going to pull the rug out from underneath them and have the Heat pull it out. But it was wrong. Good thing I didn't bet hardly any money on it. Alphonse wants me to do the Donald Trump voice. Well, of course, there won't be any rioting if I come back as your president, all right? Excuse me, when I do come back as your president. When I do, in fact, come back as your president, because of course I am the greatest president of all time, and I will be the greatest 2-time president of all time. And all the fanboys, they won't be drunk on alcohol. Let me tell you something. They're going to be drunk on love, all right? Because I love this country and you love this country. And if you love this country, you're going to do the right thing and you're going to vote for me. You know what I'm going to do? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put that woman in jail and I'm going to finish building that wall. All right? That's the first thing I'm going to do. Second thing I'm going to do, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, Trumptricity. It's going to be powering every device in your home for fractions of pennies on the dollar. All right, we're going to save, are you ready for this? Billions. You know who we're going to make pay for the whole thing? China. All right. There you go. There you go. Off the cuff. Off the cusp. Off the cuffaspa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you don't hear much about Hillary, but you know what Trump tards will tell you? The super hardcore Trump tarded right wingers will tell you that he executed her in Guantanamo Bay. and now they have a look-alike playing the part of Hillary because she's already been executed. That's what Trump tards will tell you. So it's funny how if you go super far left, you're like gonna get vaxxed and boosted and wear a mask. But if you go super far right, you think that Trump's out there fighting bad guys on your behalf. To me, those are equally about the same retarded. This is equal tardation. No, I didn't jump in Lake Superior. I stuck my hand in it, and it didn't feel super frigid. When I was in Duluth, I put my hand in the water, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling like swimming. It was kind of late in the day, and the weather was kind of cool up there in Duluth, Minnesota. Whereas in Lake Minnetonka area, it was hot and humid, and I wanted to go for a swim. I was sweaty and hot. I've been riding my scooter around, and it was like this nice little rocked off area with a nice little beach, and I felt the water, and it felt really good. So Lake Minnetonka, surprisingly, super nice swimming. Lake Superior, I didn't swim it. Couldn't tell. Yes, the Biden falls are planned. I think the first one that he did back at the beginning of his presidency was Jim Carrey, and then this latest one, I don't know who it was, but I think they have a rotating cast of actors playing the part of Joe Biden. There could possibly have been 20, 30, 50 different people who've played the part, and you also have deep fake Joe Biden. As we know, we live in an era where you can have a deep fake Joe, a deep fake Donald Trump, a deep fake whoever, and not even have that person, really be there on the screen. And so you could have deep fake CGI Joe deliver some, you know, speech from the Oval Office when it's not even really him. And then you can have somebody, a talented actor, put on the mask. They have the capability to make the most realistic masks that are even imaginable. So between actors playing the part of Joe and CGI deepfake Joe, it makes perfect sense to me that there is no Joe, and there hasn't been for a while. And so we currently have a non president of the United States, a made up person at this point, as president of the United States. And I've stood by that as my opinion for years now, so I haven't wavered on that. And my conviction only grows stronger with the more evidence that I see. If you make a video about this drug on YouTube, it gets generally taken down or removed. And so I made a video connecting this drug back to some celebrities, and I was going to be a multiple part series, but they whacked it. So I actually have a video about that drug. I don't want to talk about it too much here for obvious reasons, but I have a video about that on BitChute, and I think Lady Gaga's on the thumbnail, and it was just before Lady Gaga performed at like the Super Bowl or something. So this was like a few years back, 3-4 years ago, and they whacked my video with because I had that word in the title. So I was talking about the Black Eye Club. That's right. I was going into detail about the Black Eye Club, and then I brought up this drug, and the video was doing fairly well. It wasn't like blowing up, but it was getting views, and then YouTube whacked it. And then like a few weeks later, whenever Lady Gaga did the Super Bowl, it's funny because she was in my thumbnail. So it's almost like they didn't want any negative press about her and that drug right at the time she was doing the Super Bowl. Doxological Thinker says maybe Joe went to Guantanamo Bay with Hillary. Also, I'm Caleb from the Minnesota meetup. Hey, what's up, buddy? Glad at least a few people made it out to that one. Yeah, the whole deep state and then the white hats fighting the deep state, just ridiculous. Just a way to keep you from doing anything, and basically keep you in la la land, trusting the plan. So If they got you, picking a side, the right wing or the left wing, well, then they've got you underneath their gigantic psychological operation. So both wings connected back to the same crooked bird. And if they can get you to pick a side and say some stupid shit like, he done put Hillary and Obama in Guantanamo, and he replaced them with lookalikes, and he's going to do that to all. That's why you don't see Tom Hanks no more. He done executed him in Guantanamo. Hunter Biden. Let me tell you what about Hunter Biden's laptop. If they get you to talk about it like that, then they've got you. Just as much as going to get your vax and your booster, they've got you just as much if you swing that hard to the right. If you think that there is a savior going to save you from the bad guys, fighting the bad guys on your behalf while you sit back and do nothing, and go to your job, they got you. And there's millions and millions of people who totally believe that, or some form of that. Thanks for the donation, buddy. I appreciate that too. TCB says Jake sing Return of the Doink. I don't know. I think I should save it for football season. It's kind of ruining it if there's no doink and I just sing Return of the Doink for nothing. It's like we have to see a kick hit the uprights. So I don't know. I think I might ruin how unique and special it is if I do it without there being, an actual doink. Andy, when it comes to people like Epstein, I think a lot of these are inserted characters that, like, how do you even know any of their stories real at all? So a lot of people will talk about like what evil stuff Epstein did on his island, and I'm like, time out. No one ever said the guy's name in the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s. 210. Never heard the dude's name until like 2018 or 19, ever. Same with like Harvey Weinstein. Like there's these names that you never heard your whole life, and then one day it's like, don't you know that this really famous guy who everyone knows does this? And you're like, oh, who? Like one day Elon Musk just thrust himself into being the most popular guy, one of the most popular people in the world. And it was like that, he wasn't even a thing ever. And then one day he's the most gigantic thing. So they can insert a puppet into your life and be like, Epstein, he does bad stuff on his island with bad guys. And then they can get you to talk about it when it's like these people like never existed in your life and you've never met them or seen them do anything. And so why talk about any of the terrible things that they're doing when that's what the news gives us, right? So people like that, like I don't believe that he like died in prison under suicide watch, but I also don't really believe in his whole like story. Him and Trump hang out and they do stuff with minors on Epstein Island. And I know this because I'm speculating. So there's people who go way too far down that rabbit hole without going, hey, wait a minute, time out. These people didn't exist not that long ago, as far as in the public eye. And then one day, Epstein, everyone knows him and has an opinion. 10 years ago, no one knows him, no one has an opinion. I just got a text that says, hello, we are conducting a short political survey today in Virginia. Share your opinion confidentially here. I'm going to have to report that as junk and delete that. That's my opinion on that matter. Yeah. Amber and fucking anytime they whip out movie stars and stuff, yeah, and their wives and their drama and crap. It's all this crap. Like I swear, how come Elon Musk wasn't a huge deal for the last 30 years? If he's so huge now and owns all these companies, how come he wasn't like that big 20, 30 years ago? Like one day these people just get thrust into your life and it's like, you don't know who that is? I remember like this happening to me one time when I was like much younger, before I'd even woke up. Uh, God, I was like, I don't know, maybe 20 or something. I forget. And my cousin goes, "Didn't you hear? Steve Jobs died." And I was like, "Who the fuck is Steve Jobs?" She goes, "He invented like everything. He was like the smartest guy ever and he died. It's so sad." I'm like, I don't give a fuck. She's like, you're just a terrible person for not giving a fuck that Steve Jobs died. And I was like, never heard his name in my life. I just until he died, right? And then I got told by people like how much he meant to the world, and he invented all this awesome technology. Just the most amazing guy ever. Didn't hear of him until he died. Never heard his name ever until he died. Had to be told how important he was. And it seems like that's how it is with these huge tech moguls. You never hear of them ever, and then one day they're the most important, powerful man ever, and you should care about what they think and say and are doing. Yes, Silent Walk, the real Joe is dead. So the Joe that was the vice president under Obama is like the actual Joe, and that guy is no longer in the picture. So he's either retired and living off of the scene, or he's dead. Those are the two options. So probably dead, if not retired. But whoever they have now playing the part and wearing the mask and doing the CGI thing, whoever the people that they have doing that, not the original guy. Not at all. Nowhere near. And it should be obvious. If you've been paying attention, more than enough evidence to completely prove that that's not the same dude that was vice president under Obama. No how, no way. He got older. He's old. No. I'm sure they were growing human clones in test tubes a long, long time ago. I'm sure that that's highly outdated old shit by now. You got to remember the diabolical people who run this place, who have unlimited money, can build a underground bunker that no regular person can get to, where they could carry out all sorts of diabolical experiments, such as growing people in tubes. So you got to figure they've had a long time of being in power and having unlimited money. So that's something that they did a long time ago. So asking about it now is kind of irrelevant. Yeah, I believe Tupac's still alive. Popular word is that it's Akil the MC from Jurassic 5. That's the popular word. But that was talked about like 10 years ago. So Tupac faking his death, if you go back and do your own investigation, totally seems like, yeah, he's not dead. And he was just a puppet actor on the world stage and went through the death faking ceremony, all that. And then I guess he could be Akil the MC, and that is a possibility. I can't prove that, but that is the popular rumor. Yeah, Tupac was definitely. If you go back and watch the early footage of him when he's like 19, he was like a trained actor. He was very feminine, uh, and so they turned him into the thug gangsta. But it's really a testament of his acting skill. David Yount says, finally made it. What did I miss, bro? Oh, pretty much all of it. So first 20 minutes, I explained why I had to cut my trip short. And then the next hour or so after that, I go into folding up the money and getting depictions of the Twin Towers coming down, and took that into folding up a $50 bill and getting a depiction of the Hoover Dam flooding, breaking. And then we just started going off on just I started going off on just random comments for the last like 20, 30 minutes. So all that. And a few voices here and there too. Yeah, I always recommend if you miss any part of it, go back and listen to it at like 1.25 speed, and then listen while you're like on a long car ride. So if you have like a half an hour car ride, hour long, 2 hours long, perfect time to catch up on the Jake stream, because you don't always have to see everything I'm showing. Just hearing me talk about it, you can get a lot from it. It helps to watch. So, but if you're like on a long drive and you just wanted to like catch up on what I was talking about, like I like to listen to podcasts and stuff when I'm on a long drive. So that's what I recommend. Yes, Tupac was a feminine ballerina trained actor, and he was trained so well that he could be a thug gangsta and get white guys like myself to sag my pants and buy his albums. So yeah, I'd say he was pretty good at doing what he did. So was he talented? Hell yes, he was talented. But was his thug life thing a total gimmick? Yeah, yes. Was his thug life thing a gimmick created by a rich, juicy white man? Yes, for sure. Timothy Girl says, I can't laugh and drive. Really? I can. I actually, on my trip, went back and listened to old episodes of Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew from like 2020, or excuse me, 2003, like 2002, 2000, for like 20 years ago. And so there was some episodes that I remembered where the Insane Clown Posse went on Loveline and basically turned the show upside down. And like any girl that would call in to talk about their problems, the Violent J from the Insane Clown Posse would be like, "Where are you at? I'll take care of your titties. You have a problem with your tits leaking? I can fix those things for you. Let me come down there and fix your titties." It was like they were basically just berating all the callers. Just they turned the show into like an absolute like comedic version of itself, where they weren't even helping the kids who called in. So I listened to this old episode while I was on my trip coming back home of Insane Clown Posse on Loveline, and I was just laughing my ass off for like a couple hours straight listening to it. Yeah, I was listening to something 20 years old. It was hilarious. I don't care about their music, but like I swear, Violent J from ICP 20 years ago, just listening to that guy talk is hilarious. All right, let me show you guys some of the luck I had on my trip. Pretty lucky guy sometimes. I'm strategic and I'm lucky. I start with strategy, and then I just get lucky on top of strategy. I'll show you what I mean. So I posted a couple videos on my slot channel. I have a small slot channel, basically just to prove to people that I win, and I win with strategy. And I win with luck too. So the cool thing about being an advantage slot player is you only play when you have the advantage. And if you only play when you have the advantage, you're going to win more than you lose. And every once in a while, you get those 3 bonus symbols and you get a lucky bonus that you weren't even planning on getting. So between luck and strategy, I find a way to win money. And while I was on my trip, I won quite a bit. At least I think it was a good amount. So let me show you guys. Back to that. There's an Ocean Magic clip here. And it started with one wild bubble on the screen. 25 bucks. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Advantage gambling in Hinckley, Minnesota. Finally finding some decent advantages. Getting some of my money back that I spent on this trip. Get them, get them, get them. Get them. Oh, do that. I'll clap and say woo. I'll be your best friend. Clap and say woo. Do it. Do it. Oh, woo, 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 woo. Oh. I have to clap somehow, but I'm holding my phone. Woo! Oh, dude, I'm so lucky sometimes. I'm like the luckiest dude, and I'm the most skillful, awesome dude. Oh, this is looking really good. Dude, I'm so glad I stopped here. I was already winning, and now I'm going to win extra. Oh, this is looking good so far.
Take a button.
Need you to hit, baby. Come on, hit it, hit it. Come on, get it, baby. Get them. Fill it in. Hit now, hit. Oh, come on, girl. All right, we'll up to 40 bucks, but come on, we haven't had a big one yet. We need a big Grand Slam monkey hit. Give me that big one. Come on. Come on, baby, please. Big hit. We need a big one. Come on. Come on. Fill it up. Hit. Do that. Retrigger. 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 What? You better fill that screen with wilds. You better smash something now. Come on. Come on, baby. This is the one. This is the one. I can feel it. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here comes the big one. Here comes the big one. There it is. That's the one. That's what I'm talking about. Boom. Oh, not quite. We can do better than that. Come on. Come on. Come on. Fill that one. Fill the gaps. Fill it in. There you go. Now we're doing it. Now we got them. Now we got it. There it is. That's the one. Yeah. Woo! I love winning money, especially when I do it strategically.
I love watching people win money.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. It never gets old. Oh, this is awesome. I'm getting all these tanks of gas that I spent on this trip right back now. Hit, baby, hit. Oh, yes. Bingo. Ching. Now we're cooking. You know how much I started with? I started with like 25 bucks. Walked around this place not even once yet. And this is what I'm doing. Bingo. That's what I'm talking about. Got 2 more free games. Let's finish strong. 2 more spins. Finish strong. Finish strong. Load the screen, baby. Load it. Load it. This is it. Final spin. Final spin. All right. Bingo. And I was already winning before that. So I started with 25 bucks and now I'm up to $370. All right, so that was in Hinckley, Minnesota. I got a tip that there was a good casino in Hinckley from one of my subs. Stopped off, walked around one time. I hit that bonus round. And then right after that, literally 2 to 3 minutes after that, I hit another bonus round on a different machine. Get them. 15 chances to break the bank. Let's do it. Come on, baby. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, 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 meow, meow, meow. Kitty, 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 meow, 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 meow. Come on, kitties. Get them. Yeah. Keep them coming. Kitty, 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 kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitties. Kitty cats. Come on, baby. Big hit. Give me the kitty cats. Kitty cats and lots of wilds. There we go. There's some kitty cats. Yeah. Kitty, 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 meow, 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 meow. Go, baby, go. Get them. All right, now load it up, baby. Big hit, big hit. There's it. There it is. Oh, yeah. Nifty. That one was 77 bucks. Hell to the yeah. Dude, I'm beating this casino's ass. I've been here for like maybe 15, 20 minutes and I'm up like 400 bucks. Soon to be 500 or more. Oh my gosh. Smacking this casino around. Holy crap, that one was $170 right there. So yeah, I'm doing really, really good in Hinckley, Minnesota on a random Thursday when the casino's not very busy. Just lucky, I guess. What can I say? Oh, finish strong. Finish strong. One more hit. One more big hit. Beat the shit out of this machine. So now I print my money. Move on to the next one. It's been a good day in Hinckley. Bingo. So those two were back to back. So I walked into Hinckley Casino, Grand Casino, walked around once, hit those two machines, and walked out with 600 bucks in like an hour. Not being down, losing, or like whatever. So did I get lucky hitting 2 bonus rounds? Yeah, but it started by strategically picking the machine because there was a small advantage. So I started because I saw a small advantage in the form of like a wild on the screen or on this cap machine. It was a multiplier. And so it starts with a small advantage, but then sometimes you just get lucky and get bonus rounds. And so 2 lucky bonus rounds in a row. And I walked out with 600 bones right there. So when all was said and done on the trip total, I probably won like $1,000 total out of all the casinos I hit. So if you minus $1,000 off my total cost, basically brings my trip down to, with all the donations and everything, shit, either I made money or I lost very little. So basically I had a big long trip and I either came back with more money or lost very little. I don't know. I haven't added it all up. Yeah, somebody who names their account name is going to try to make me feel bad. Gambling, drinking, and drugs. Woo! I'm guessing the person who has a name called Name is doing that to try and antagonize me. Eh, I'm able to drink and gamble and do drugs and have a wonderful time doing it. So if you're jealous, that's on you. Or maybe you actually agree with me and you're like, awesome. I will have a beer if a lady comes around and offers me like a beer, like right when I walk in or whatever. Sometimes I'll take one of their free beers. I tip a buck, but in a lot of the little towns in Nevada, if you walk in, the waitress will spot you and come right over and ask you for a drink. And if you go to one of the casinos like in Montana, it's like as big as like this office, basically, with only like 5 to 10 machines. You better believe they're going to spot you and be like, "Do you want something to drink?" So you can basically get any beer, any regular beer for, you just tip them like a buck so that they're not just giving you a free beer for nothing. But some people don't even tip; they just take the free booze. But a lot of times, see, like I'll hit a machine, play it, and I either win or lose, and then I move on to the next one. So I don't sit and order drinks that often because I don't sit. I walk around and I check machines, and I only stop and play when I find an advantage. And so, like when I get a bonus round like that, that's when I'll actually be on a machine for long enough for someone to come around and maybe take my order. But generally, like I'll find a machine, a small advantage, boom, 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 boom. Oh, didn't win. On to the next one. Find an advantage. Do do do. And so I don't really sit there that long and play on any one machine for very long. Yeah. Yeah, basically, this is what happened. I traveled, I partied, and I won money. Only bad thing was that I didn't get that many views on the videos and had to cut the trip short. But other than that, it was really fun and wouldn't trade it for anything else. And there's a bunch of people out there who sit at home and are jealous and don't get to go do anything. Pat loser ass truther. Fuck you, bitch. So there's some guys who sit home, do nothing, never get to go anywhere, see anything. And then the minute, like I say, that I'm done with my trip, they want to like gloat and talk about how big of a failure it was. But really, it was an awesome trip, and I made money and met a lot of cool people and saw a lot of awesome things. So it's a good time. Diego's jealous. And that's just, how I have learned to have fun and do what I do in my life. So the fact I'm able to like win at slots was because like I learned which ones are advantage machines, and then I learned how they work, and then I have uh the patience to walk around, look for the advantages, and uh I stick to the strategy of only playing when I have an advantage. So, if you don't have oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? If you don't have the capability to like limit how much and when you play, then you could easily you could lose money. So if you're going to play slots with strategy, like I do, it's, like a job. You kind of have to like you have to know what you're doing. And so if you spend the time and learn and know what you're doing, it's kind of like people who bet on sports and win. If you're going to bet on sports and win, you have to know that sports are rigged, and you have to know that the underdogs are going to pull off upsets in situations where it doesn't seem likely. And you have to be privy to that knowledge if you want to win in sports betting. If you want to win in poker, you have to be very strategic, and you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. So can you win in different forms of gambling? Yeah, but there's skill and strategy and experience that goes along with it. So there are people out there who are pro poker players. I can't play pro level poker. I like poker. I'm good at poker, but I can't play day after day, night after night, and grind money out playing poker. It's just not for me, and I don't like the bad beats tear me up inside. And so, uh, sports betting, you have to put a lot of money on the line. And so there's different forms of gambling that I've tried that I just don't like and I don't do. So the only one I've ever had lots of success with is slots. But I've seen, guys out there who are professional sports gamblers and they'll bet 5,000, 10,000 a game or more. And they have days where they lose a lot. And then they have days where they win a lot. And as long as you win more than you lose, you can be a pro. But hardly anyone can get to that level because the games are set up to beat you. So very few people have the wherewithal to flip the advantages around. And when it comes to games like, like sports gambling, if you start winning too much, they'll cut you off. So the deck is stacked against the gamblers in a lot of different ways. And here's the thing, if you never gamble, then you won't lose your ass off. So the good thing about not getting into any of it is that you can't lose. However, some people will bet here and there just out of like boredom. So football fans will bet on their favorite team just out of boredom, even if it's not life-changing money. So there are casual fans who will bet like $50 on a football game just because they want to bet on their favorite team. And then if they win, cool. And if they lose, it doesn't impact their life. So it can kind of all just depend. Like if you're talking about an insignificant amount of money and you're just doing it just for fun, just to see if you can get the pick right, like that's what I was doing with the NFL. I was just seeing if I could get the picks right. So I wasn't betting big on the NFL. I was betting small just to see if I could get the picks right because I was breaking down the NFL games throughout the season. So I started thinking, well, I should pick some games too. But I didn't want to put tons of money on the line because I know I could be wrong. And so there's certain circumstances where you can like gamble a small amount of money and it's not going to like affect you whether you win or you lose. Meaning if you win, you'll be glad, but if you lose, it's not going to change like how you live your life. So as long as you don't put too much on the line and put yourself into a situation where you're behind on your bills or, impoverish yourself, as long as you don't let it become a problem. There's tons of people out there who gamble, but it's not like it's a big deal to them or their life. Kat says people that get bored are boring. Yeah, but no matter how exciting your life is, the more exciting things you do, that makes the downtime boring. So if you're an adrenaline junkie and you like to go, let's say, snowboarding down gnarly mountains, well, then that means all the downtime when you're not doing that thing, then that's going to be boring. And so it's hard to always fill your life with excitement because if everything's exciting all the time and nothing's boring, how can everything stay exciting always? There has to be some times in your life where it's boring in order for other things to be exciting, right? So like sitting around here in this office, I got bored and I wanted to get out and go see some shit and explore. And then after I spent 3 weeks out on the road, I was like, I wouldn't mind getting back home to my office and doing my regular routine. So Rocky Shepherd says, can you count cards in blackjack? I don't, but I have heard that you can get a small edge in certain casinos if you count cards. So I guess if you can find a casino that still does like single deck blackjack, if they aren't using like 6 decks or whatever, if you can find a place that's still playing like legitimate blackjack and you're going to sit there and count cards, I've heard that you can get the advantage to swing to like 52, 53%. And so at that level, you have to play a shitload of hands for the math to catch up. And you can still lose your ass off on any given night, even with a 53% advantage if you're a master card counter. But I have heard that the blackjack players that were good at it and had the good systems and had teams, that if you use that system and you have that 52, 53% edge on the casino, that eventually that math catches up and you start sticking it to them. So I think there was a teacher, I forget the names of or how it all worked, but there was a teacher who had a class and he taught his class how to count cards, and then he had the best students take his money and go gamble at the casino and split the profits with them, and it turned out to be this big like blackjack sting or whatever scam. But anyway, so you can use different people at the same table and use like what is it, signals to each other and shit. But that's like a highly sophisticated operation, and everyone has to be on the same page, and you have to know what you're doing, and you can get caught doing it and stuff. So the good thing about what I do is I can walk in to a casino, and if I don't find an advantage, I don't have to spend anything. Like I walked into several small casinos on my trip, walk around once, I don't find an advantage or nothing, I just walk out. I haven't lost anything. Or maybe I find a little something on one machine and one machine beats me for 5, 10, 20 bucks. Oh well, so small, it's insignificant. But if you turn a 20 into $300, well, now you've totally you're so far up on the casino that they're not going to be able to get it back from you because you're not going to go blowing that. So the next time you win another 200, 300, the next time and the next time. So once you get so much of the casino's money, you reach a point where they're never going to get it back. So I've beaten the casino so many times. There's zero chance that they're going to take it all back from me. So I'm always playing with their money. So even if I lose 500 tomorrow, it's 500 that I already took out of a casino. And I'll win it all back the next time I hit a big bonus round or two. So I always know there's another bonus round around the corner. And I always know I'm just going to win more. But I spend the time walking around checking the machines. It's not like I just get lucky and have it fall into my lap. I strategically go around and check machines. And then on top of that, I get lucky. So the advantage on each machine is different, Rocky. So for instance, Ocean Magic, you're looking for wild bubbles on the screen over on the left side. And if you see like one, you start playing and hope that more bubbles come. And then you play until they leave the screen. So each machine that has an advantage, you have to figure out what that advantage is. So there's several different kinds. I can't just explain them to you. You'd have to look up here on YouTube, advantage slots, and find out how they work, watch videos, go find them, play them a little bit, learn. And then once you realize how it works, then you can go around and check and just by looking know whether it's an advantage or not. But it takes you doing the work. I can't explain it all to you right here. It's like it would be like me trying to explain like how to fucking be a street magician in Las Vegas. It's like you would have to go learn the tricks, learn the routine, and go put in the time and effort to get to that point. I can't just tell you like, oh, do this trick and this trick and this trick, and you can be a street magician in Las Vegas. So you have to put in the time and effort to learn how to do it. I'm just here to tell you that it is possible and show you it is possible. But if you want to go do what I do, you got to fucking put in all the time and effort that I did to learn how to do it. And there's a Chinese dude at your local casino doing exactly what I showed you right now. In fact, there's lots of them. If you go to Las Vegas, the competition is crazy. Yes, Achy Dragon. there's not just magician, but there's in Las Vegas, the old downtown area. They have the Fremont Street Experience, which is a big CGI roof that plays all kinds of crazy stuff. And on the street, they have these circles where performers will rent a spot. And so Vegas performers will rent a spot on the downtown strip, the Fremont Street Experience. And if they're good and talented and have a good act, they make good money. And if they don't, then they flop. So you'll see all different sorts of performers, everything from magicians to people playing instruments and singing, doing dance routines, what have you. So you can look up right here on YouTube Vegas performers and see a plethora of different talents, and it all comes down to how many donations you can get. So if you can do a crazy dance routine or whatever and get people donating, 100, 200 bucks a day, and you can pay for your spot and make a living, it's a life changer to be able to make money doing something that you enjoy, something that doesn't suck your soul. And so I've made money singing for old people. I've made money playing in rock bands. I've made money here on YouTube being Jake the Asshole. And I've made money beating slots. And I can tell you, it is so much better than going to a job that you hate. So people will sometimes try and piss me off by saying, why don't you go get a real job? Well, I have had what people call a real job. I've cleaned toilets. I've worked at fast food. I've been fired from every job that I ever had that I hated. And the jobs that I didn't get fired from, singing for old people, singing in rock bands, doing YouTube. So the stuff that I enjoyed and made money at, I excelled at, and I didn't get fired. The stuff that I hated stole my soul and made me depressed and ultimately caused me not to do a good job and to get fired. So I've been a janitor. I got fired. I worked at fast food. I got fired. I worked with people who had disabilities. I actually quit that job, but I was going to get fired. I quit because I was probably going to get fired. So I know what it's like to work at a job you hate. The ones people call real jobs. Yeah, I've worked at those. And I know what it's like on Sunday to not have a good day because Monday's coming. I know what it's like to have a day off and have your day off suck because the next day after that you have to go to work. And the feeling of having to go to work at a job you hate seeps into your day off. And you can't even fucking enjoy your day off because the next day you have to go to. I haven't felt that feeling in like 7 years. I have not woken up and went, oh shit, it's going to be Monday. I haven't had that in like 7 years. And so the people that tell me to go get a real job are the ones who hate going to work on Monday, have had their soul stolen from them. And they want me to feel what they feel, even though I haven't felt it in 7 years. They want me to feel it again. So losers who hate me, like Pat Truthner, who make no money and have no life, he sits around dreaming what it would be like to be someone like me. And then there's people who will try and piss me off and be like, go get a real job. I've had one of those before. I got fired. So now I do the Jake the Asshole thing. I do whatever I want for a living. And if nobody wants to hire me, then I'll go beat a slot machine into submission and take my money. And if they stop doing that, if they stop doing the slot machine and change them all and get rid of all the advantage machines, I can always go sing. So I always have backup plans and other fun ways of making money to where I never have to sell my soul to a corporation and let them beat me down. I know what it's like to be beaten down by a corporation that doesn't give a fuck about me except to show up and do their shitty job and make them money. And I know what it's like to work for me, choose my own hours, make my own money, make all my own decisions. And let me tell you what, one is way better than the other. Guess which one is better? The real job or being me for a living? Being me for a living wins infinitely, forever. So, if you've ever wondered what it was like to not hate your job and actually enjoy it, if you wonder like what that's like, it is a thing. It does exist, and it is life changing. I used to have a job that I hated, and I thought everybody had this feeling where you wake up and have to go to a place you hate, and only a few lucky people out there actually get to do something they like, and even they're probably lying about it. But no, you can actually find ways to make money doing stuff you like. There's people making money doing shit that shouldn't make money. There's teenagers playing video games and streaming themselves playing video games who make 10 times more than I make doing whatever I do. So there's teenagers out there who have millions of viewers to watch them play video games. That shouldn't be a thing, but it is. So we live in a time where you can be as broke as you want to be, or you can make money doing shit that shouldn't even make money. Shit that didn't exist 10, 20 years ago. GG Cash says helps to be talented. Well, I believe we all have some sort of talent in one way or another. And so some people are good at building stuff, working with their hands, and that's like a different skill than what I possess. So, like, I'm not an intricate build stuff, work on stuff kind of guy. So I just focus more on what talents I have. So you might not have the same talents as me, but you would focus, of course, on your talents. So everyone, I feel like, has some sort of talent, some way that they can make money that they will enjoy more so than a job they hate. So if you are in a job that you don't like, there's something out there that you could do that you will enjoy more, even if it's not your favorite thing. There's always something that you could switch to where you would make the same or more money and do something that is more tolerable. And so even if you have like a job that's not great, it's not fun, as long as it's tolerable, that still beats having a job that sucks your soul, that you hate. So I know what it's like to have a job that is so terrible, but you have to have a check. You have to have money. So you have to wake up and go. And have that feeling when you wake up in the morning like, no, I don't want to go. But if I don't go, then I like don't have money and life will end. Yeah, it's a rat race. I've been there. I lived in it for decades, and I scratched and clawed my way slightly out of the rat race. So I'm slightly financially secure. As far as I keep my bills really low, and I keep my income higher than my bills at all times. So I always come out ahead, even on a bad month. I always come out ahead. And so since I've set my life up to where I always come out ahead, I've been able to put myself in a position where I don't worry about tomorrow, even though I'm not rich. So I don't have a big fancy car, don't live in a big fancy house, but I ain't worried about tomorrow. So it's all about the position you want to put yourself in, really. Peter Rizzle says, you just crushed my soul. I hate my life. Well, that was not the point of what I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to crush anyone's soul. I was simply stating I know what it's like to work at a job that is not in any way enjoyable, and how I was able to escape it, and that there is hope, and that you can find whatever talent you have and do something better than what you currently do if you are unhappy with what you currently do. If you're totally happy with what you currently do, then none of what I'm saying should affect you at all. And you should be like, yeah, totally. I agree. Rocky Shepherd's got a point. He says if you want to be a furniture repairer or something, get a job doing it for someone else. Then start your own biz, D. Yeah, if you want to be a furniture repairer, then go do it. That's good advice. Okay, TD. So I worked at a bunch of shitty minimum wage jobs until I was like 24. I started going to college. So in my teens and 20s, early 20s, that's when I worked at fast food and the janitor and just crap minimum wage jobs and got fired from every one of them. And then since I was 24, I got to go to college for free on a grant. And so I went to Modesto Junior College and I got to basically just go to college for free. And they actually paid me money, put money in my account. So I actually got paid to go to college. And then my mom at the time, she's like, oh, well, since you're enrolled in full time college, I'll let you stay here rent free. So my mom didn't make me pay rent. And she was like, you're going to college full time. You can stay here rent free. And so my job was just to go to school. And so in college, like I kicked college's ass. It was like so easy. It was hardly even a challenge. It was because that was the only thing I had to worry about. And so once I beat college's ass, I graduated from junior college, parlayed that to a university degree from California State. I have a 4-year degree and a psychology degree that I don't use and won't use. None of the psychology that I learned comes in handy at all. I like psychology, but nothing that they taught me helped. Anyway, so I have a 4-year degree. Never paid a dime for my education. In fact, my education was paid for all through me being poor. And then when I graduated, I got a job helping people who had disabilities. And I did that for like 3-4 years. And then I started doing YouTube while I had that job. So while I was watching over people who had disabilities, I would be on my phone creating a flat earth video. So I was doing YouTube and working at this job at the same time. And then when I got monetized and I had enough subs, I started to make money on YouTube. And I had the thought that if I could somehow quit my job and be flat earth asshole for a living, that would be like a dream job. And that all I would need is YouTube money and then music money. And if I could just have enough to pay my bills, even if I was poor, that would be way better than working at a shit job. So between me doing music gigs and YouTube, I quit my job working with people who had disabilities. It was called a direct service aid, and did YouTube and music gigs. And I was not quite making enough each month. So one month I'd make enough to get by, but then the next month I wouldn't. So I slowly depleted my savings until I couldn't afford my 1-bedroom apartment anymore. And the views on YouTube were kind of getting shittier. I was making less and less money. And then I discovered that I could sing in nursing homes and make like $75 an hour. And as long as I could just do like a couple of them a day, even just one a day, that would be enough money to keep me afloat. So I started singing in nursing homes like once a day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, charging like $75 an hour. And so between that and my little YouTube salary, I was able to rent an office and live in an office very cheaply. I did that and have been doing that for a number of years, but I've been able to increase my my income through slamming slots. So I have YouTube and I have slots. So now I'm not doing singing as much, but now between YouTube and slots, I've been able to make enough to cover my expenses and some because I keep my bills low. So I just come out ahead every month just by keeping my bills very low, to where if you do that a number of years over and over and over again, then you get to a point where you've saved enough, then you don't have to worry about paying your bills anymore. So there you go. That's kind of like how I got to this point. So I'm able to be Jake the asshole for a living with a combination of slot machine income. And so YouTube and slots, is it something I would recommend to everyone? No. So I'm not trying to tell you to go do what I did. It's not going to work for everybody. In fact, it definitely won't work for everybody. I'm just saying that's what I did. And I know what it's like to work at, for instance, Wendy's and hate it. I know what it's like to have to clean a toilet that you didn't poop in and hate it. Yes, the hat is back. I didn't take it with me on the van trip, but now that that's over, the hat is back. Indeed. Sunflower, I get offers, so I can go do it anytime I want. Literally, the COVID stuff has been dropped, and I got probably 5 different phone calls. Except I live in Sacramento, and the gigs that I have were in the Modesto area, and it's like an hour and a half drive. So I can still do nursing home stuff if I want. Is it fun? Do I enjoy it? Yeah, but I enjoy being Jake the asshole and doing this YouTube thing and slamming slots too. And so if I start booking gigs, then it becomes like a thing on the calendar. Like if I say, okay, I'm going to come on this date, and then they want me to come back the next month and the next month, then it's like a thing in the calendar that I have to do. Then it's like a planned out thing, job. Whereas right now, I don't have anything planned. I literally just make it all up. Like if I feel like doing a stream, I do a stream. If I feel like doing a stream at 3, I do a stream at 3. If I feel like doing a stream at 6, I'll do a stream at 6. If I feel like not doing a stream or anything and just watching YouTube crap all day long and doing nothing, I can do that. I can do that for weeks and weeks in a row, and I won't even notice it. So I get to choose whatever I want to do all the time. And now that I've done that for so long, like I can't see any reason to not do it. And so setting up any sort of routine type job or whatever, like, well, that means I can't do whatever I want all the time. So once you get used to doing whatever you want all the time, it gets harder and harder to go back and do something for someone else. So I like singing for the old people, but I was doing it like 30 shows a month. Do I want to go back and do 30 shows a month again? No. It's a lot. Literally in every description of every video and stream, I have my shirt links. So, for instance, if you go in the description, you should find my shirt links in the description on this video that you're looking at. Right? So, you go to the description and then go to the part that says show more. For instance, Lunar Module or Homeless Tweaker Shelter shirt. Earth and Rona or CGI shirt. No mask, no fear. Proud to be corona free. All that stuff right there in the description. I need to do some. I have some ideas in my head, but I just haven't sat down and knocked them out because sometimes I'm a lazy entrepreneur. So basically, I'm my own boss, but I'm also lazy. But since I'm my own boss, I don't fire myself. So yeah, a new shirt design is one of those things I've been meaning to do for a long time. A few different ones, but I just haven't. And so yeah, when I like stop being such a lazy entrepreneur, I'll get around to knocking those out. How can you buy the hat? Well, you can't buy this one because this one is mine. But you can buy ones like this. Just Google like psychedelic top hat or something like that. Big furry top hat, and you'll find lots of different ones. I know that this isn't the only one that they ever made. Oh yeah, hat auction. Yeah, this is the Jake the Asshole hat. It contains superpowers. Like, I'm not funny unless I wear this. This is where the funny comes from. So if you want to be funny like me, you know how much this is going to cost? 100 million billion sextillion niggleflickatillion dollars. Sold for 100. Ha ha. All you get's a sweaty hat that's not magical at all. And I'm not even really a celebrity. It's not even worth shit. I totally would steal your $100. And then you'd be like, look, I bought Jake the Asshole's sweaty, smelly hat. And people would be like, you're an idiot. And then you'd be like, why'd I do that? Oh, just kidding. Or am I? Okay, I explained at the very beginning of the stream why the trip's over. So it's not sustainable for me to do meetups one after the other, after the other, after the other. It's just not. And the views were getting worse and worse. So if less and less people watch the videos, that means less and less people are going to see the promos for the meetups, which means less and less people show up to the meetups, which inevitably means I'm going to have 0 people show up to the meetups. So why am I trying to do meetups? So yeah, trying to do meetups over and over and over and over and over while you're on the road, and try and create content while I'm on the road, edit while I'm on the road, and continuously do that without doing any of my regular content. It just wasn't viable. It just wasn't sustainable. And so I had to cut the trip off when it was apparent that I couldn't keep it up anymore. So there you go. David Yount says, what's up with the news of late? Fake space aliens and Trump and Skip and Shannon. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about par for the course. Got to keep people talking about Trump with the election coming up. And then news is always fake. So, you know, they always have some fake story that they're going to be spinning you. Skip and Shannon are like ESPN's puppets that they use to push propaganda and sports stories. So, yep, makes sense that all that shit is being shoved in your face. Thanks for the donation, David. I appreciate it. Okay, Black Sheeps, check this out. I can still come to Colorado, but here's the difference. Instead, I'll promote an event for like a month or two. Like if I was to say, hey, I'm coming to Denver and I'm going to be at the whatever bar and grill on Saturday, this date, and I gave you like a month in advance, and then I did the meetup, that would work way better than me just showing up to Denver on a random Tuesday and being like, hi, I'm in town. The meetup's tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So me trying to set up the meetups on the fly, just rolling into town, picking out a spot, and setting up the meetup on the fly and promoting it wasn't working. But if I promote like a specific meetup in Colorado and we have like 2 months to prepare for it, and I could talk about it in live streams, and if I was to even plan out like an event, like, okay, I'm going to do a comedy show, or if I'm going to play like a mini concert. If I was to plan it as an event or even have other people join me, it could be even bigger. So I have to think uh, smarter as like a promoter. I got to think more about building an event rather than just showing up in my van to a town. Because that's what I was doing. I was just showing up to a town in my van, a city I've never been to, trying to set up a meetup in like a day or two. And it's just not sustainable long term. Whereas if I was to, like I said, set up a show in advance, like a band would do, then that gives people time to plan accordingly. And I know for a fact the attendance will be way better. So in the future, I need to look more at like planning an event or setting up a meetup where I could have plenty of time to promote it and just do like the one and then come back and then promote another one, a month or two later or whatever. So trying to do like 50 of them, 50 meetups in a row, it becomes tiresome, not only for the audience, but for me. So I had to figure all that out, on the fly while I was doing it. And so, like I said, I had a great time. The trip was awesome. It just wasn't meant to continue. Yeah, for sure. It it's something that you learn from. So rather than saying I learned from my mistake, I don't look at it as a mistake because it was a fun trip and I met a lot of cool people, saw a lot of awesome things that I've never seen before. So I learned from the experience rather than the mistake. I learned like, okay, I can plan meetups. People will show up, but it will help if I pick a Saturday rather than a Tuesday. And if I plan it for a month, of course more people are going to hear about it, know about it, and show up rather than if I'm like tomorrow on Thursday, show up. See what I'm saying? Rose, believe it or not, I was there yesterday. I rolled through Reno yesterday, stopped and ate lunch, but that was the very last leg of my trip. So I went through the northern end of Nevada on the way back. I went through Elko, Winnemucca, and then Reno. And I'm only 2 hours out of Reno, and I go to Reno to advantage gamble from time to time. And so you are one of the people I could come see pretty much any month. So I'll definitely be in Reno again, probably within the next few months at some point. I'll probably come up for like a weekend or something. And then in August, they do Hot August nights, which I usually like to hang out in Reno because there's lots of advantage gambling. One sec. No. There's something I'll definitely right there. I'm doing a live stream.
Okay, sorry.
It's all good.
I'm just trying to make sure the place doesn't burn down.
It's for sure not me. Sorry, yeah, there's something burning. So my landlord here was asking if it was from me. It's not. Retro Bill says 2 quick questions. Is Trumptricity cheaper than solar? Does the psychedelic hat also give you immortality? Yes to both. And I have no proof of either, but yes, 100% for sure. Both times infinity. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Matt G asks, "Are you getting arrested?" Am I getting arrested? That's a weird question. What would make you think I'm getting arrested? Do you see any police around? I don't see any in here getting ready to arrest me. If I was surrounded by police, that might be a good question to ask. No. There's a burning smell in the office, and so the landlord knocked, and then he said, "Welcome back," because he hasn't seen me since I've been back, and then he asked if I was burning something in the room. Nope, I'm doing a live stream. So yeah, there's somebody in one of these rooms burnt something, and it permeated through all the offices. So he was just checking to see if it was me. Yeah, I know. Everyone's joking. I'm joking too. You funny, I'm funny. We all funny. Everybody funny. Now you funny too. Rocky Shepherd with a donation coming in. I appreciate that. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Have a good night, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. Well, shit, I've been on here for 3 hours. And for those of you who missed out, like I said, at the very beginning of the stream, I explained all the reasons why I had to cut the trip short. And I'm not mad or upset. It was a great time. And I had a good time tonight with this stream. And we'll continue with business as usual on this channel. And I'll start pumping out some non-van videos for you. I'll get started tomorrow. I'll find something out there going on, and I'll make a video and hopefully get that up for you in the next few days. And then we'll do another stream in another few days, and we'll move on with breaking down the fake news and the psyops going on in the world. And I will catch you guys all on the next stream and next video, whichever. And until then, this is Jake the Asshole signing out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for all the donations and everyone who joined me. I will see all y'all lovely people next time. Have a great night. Peace.